Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
A seminarian takes one more step towards becoming a priest. I'm Carolee McGrath. I'll have the story.
I'm Steve Kiltonick here in Chicopee, where St. Stan's recently concluded its 125th year anniversary celebration. I'll have highlights from a memorable year.
And Mark GIZA has the latest from Hollywood. These stories and more are just ahead on this edition of Reel to Reel. Hello and welcome to Reel as we come to you today from St. Stanislaus Basilica in Chicopee, a parish founded 125 years ago by Polish immigrants who came to this country looking for jobs. They found work in the many mills of this city where they planted their roots and sowed the seeds of their Catholic faith, building the parish of St. Stanislaus, Bishop and Martyr. Steve Kiltonick will have more on the parish's anniversary year celebration coming up. But first, we bring you the story of one man's journey to the priesthood. Seminarian Michael Kokoszka was ordained a transitional deacon last weekend, marking a critical milestone on his journey to the priesthood. Carolee McGrath now tells us more about this former truck driver's winding road that led him to serving God's people.
The 4th degree Archbishop William's Assembly of the Knights of Columbus Honor Guard led the joyful procession into Christ the King Church in Ludlow as family and friends gathered for seminarian Michael Daniel Kokoszka's ordination to the transitional diaconate. This marks an important step in the 35-year-old's journey to the priesthood. The former truck driver says it's been a long road, paved with a lot of prayer, but he says he's excited to see where God will lead him.
I feel great. It's a feeling of fulfillment after being 5 years in seminary, so I can finally preach and minister to the people, so it feels grand.
The second reading during the Mass was from the Acts of the Apostles, when the Apostles chose 7 deacons.
Brothers, select from among you 7 reputable men, filled with the Spirit and wisdom, whom we shall appoint to this task.
Deacons preparing to become priests are called transitional deacons. Deacon Michael can now preach and read the gospel, assist at Mass, baptize, witness marriages, and conduct funeral rites outside of Mass. His friend and fellow seminarian, Deacon Barrett Pease, who will be ordained to the priesthood June 10th, read the gospel.
Jesus said to his disciples, "As the Father loves me, so I also love you."
Deacon Michael has 1 year of studies left at St. John's Seminary in Brighton. The oldest of 3 children, he grew up in Three Rivers and graduated from Palmer High School in 2000. He attended Springfield Technical Community College, UMass and Amherst, and he graduated from Westfield State in 2009 with a bachelor's degree in math. What was it that made you answer this call?
The Rosary and Eucharistic Adoration. I would go to Eucharistic Adoration. I remember even in my early 20s when I was praying the Rosary when I was on the road. The only thought that came to my mind at one point was to become a priest, so it's time to fulfill it.
During the rite of ordination, Springfield Bishop Mitchell Rosansky called Deacon Michael forward and asked about his worthiness as a candidate. Following the homily, he stated his intent to be consecrated to the church's ministry and to follow the example of Christ.
Of the diaconate. Please stand.
Deacon Michael lie prostrate before the altar as a sign of total submission to God as the congregation sang the Litany of Saints. After the laying on of hands, Father Raymond Soltis, the pastor of Christ the King Church, vested him. Christ the King has a perpetual adoration chapel dedicated to praying for vocations. People sign up to pray here all through the night, and clearly Deacon Michael's vocation shows us that prayer works. Father Gary Daly is the Director of Vocations for the Diocese of Springfield.
In 2005, Bishop McDonald designated that chapel specifically for adoration for vocations, and that really has been the success of our vocation ministry here in the diocese for sure. During the time from 2005 till now, we ordained approximately 26 men to the priesthood.
There are currently 17 men in priestly formation for the diocese.
When I came to the Diocese of Springfield and saw the men who were in formation, I was really thanking God that He has called these men, and particularly today we celebrate Deacon Michael Kokoszka's ordination. And I thank God for their willingness to commit to ministry and service to God's people. And what a wonderful inspiration this is, particularly, as I said in my homily, in a world so full of noise and distractions, that God's voice still pierces through all that.
Deacon Michael's parents were overjoyed.
I think when he started getting a little older, I wasn't surprised. Yeah, good thing.
And do you pray the rosary?
I do.
Daily?
Daily. I do daily. Yeah. Yeah, it's an important thing to do.
So obviously he's the fruit of that prayer?
I hope so.
Yeah, it may sound odd. When I was a truck driver, I wouldn't put the radio on when I'd pray the rosary, so that's maybe when God was talking the most.
And he was listening. Reporting for Reel to Reel in Ludlow, I'm Carolee McGrath.
Congratulations to Deacon Michael, who will be serving at St. Anne Parish in Chicopee this summer and is set to be ordained to the priesthood in June 2018. Coming up on June 10th, Deacon Michael's fellow seminarian, the Reverend Mr. Barrett Pease, will be ordained to the priesthood at St. Michael's Cathedral in Springfield. That ceremony will be broadcast live starting at 11 a.m. via streaming video at diospringfield.org and on Springfield Catholic radio station FM 102.5. For a decade now, teens have been gathering for a yearly spring retreat to focus on what's really important in their life, God and their faith. John Thornton tells us more now about this weekend dubbed IACT.
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all here today.
On a chilly weekend in the spring, a group of teenagers gathered at Camp Holy Cross in Goshen. They had come for a Christian youth retreat called IACT, an acronym for I'm a Christian Teen. Our Lady of the Valley Parish in East Hampton sponsored the 10th annual weekend retreat. It was open to teens from across the Diocese of Springfield and 8th grade through 12th grade. Group leader Bill Labrie described why it's important for young people to remember their spirituality during this busy time in their lives.
We should be offering Mass this afternoon and again tomorrow. We try to keep going with the faith aspect as much as we can because they definitely need it in their lives right now. It's easy to get lost in the shuffle. Faith just kind of takes a back seat, and we want to kind of keep reminding them to keep that front and center and to keep that relationship going.
Christian teens here at Camp Holy Cross in Goshen spent the afternoon discussing how faith plays a role in their decision-making process.
The idea we want to try to get across too is, it's easy to make decisions without thinking about faith, without thinking about God. We want to drive home the point that, you have to. It should be second nature. You want to start making those steps to where it's second nature, that when you're really contemplating making a decision, making a choice, that you want to put God first. You want to, do what's best for your faith first and foremost, I think.
Chris Carey is a junior at Pope Francis High School and spent the weekend training to be a group leader. He was recruited from his religious education class as he prepares for his upcoming confirmation. He explained why he's interested in volunteering as a group leader.
So since I've been little, I've always taken an interest in my faith, and I see it as part of my responsibility as a Catholic teen to foster the faith values that I have in younger people.
After breakfast and a morning prayer, the teens spent the day watching presentations, participating in group events, and breaking up into small discussion groups. One of the teens, Michelle Williams, described what she thought of the retreat.
Oh, yeah, I'm really glad I came. I'm meeting a lot of awesome people. And when we did our small groups, we really talked about some stuff that I needed to get out.
For Reel to Reel, I'm John Thornton.
And last weekend, Camp Holy Cross played host to the annual youth encounter in which 90 young people participated. And it's so great to see our youth engaged in their faith. Camp Holy Cross still has a few spots available for their upcoming summer camp. Get more information at a link that we've made available at iobserve.org. And we have much more ahead for you on Reel to Reel. Mark GIZA has the latest from Hollywood. And Steve Kiltonick looks back at the beginnings of this beautiful Basilica parish. These stories and more are still to come on Reel to Reel.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. I'm Passion's Brother Terrence Scanlon, inviting you to join us this Sunday. This week we welcome Father Warren Savage and celebrate Pentecost Sunday. The Chalice of Salvation, Sunday morning at 10 on WWLP, at 11 on Channel 15 Northern Berkshire Community TV, and 11:30 on Channel 16 Pittsfield Community Access.
The annual Catholic Appeal, One Family, Many Gifts.
I'm Catherine Buckley Bronner of Catholic Charities Agency. Every day, we help the most needy to overcome barriers of poverty, restoring the dignity of the person. Your generosity can bring help and hope to those most in need.
The annual Catholic Appeal, One Family, Many Gifts. Please give generously in your parish or visit diospringfield.org.
Johnny Depp is back as Captain Jack Sparrow in another over-the-top movie, and thoroughly modern Millie is playing at the Goodspeed Opera House in East Haddam, Connecticut. Let's take a look at this week's Real Culture. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Do we really need any more of these movies? The plots are always the same. Bad pirates taking on good pirates. Johnny Depp with too much makeup on trying to make us laugh with those same stale jokes. I say I'm done. But now, revenge is the main plot. So throw in Oscar winner Javier Bardem and let's try not to fall asleep. I will say this, the special effects are outstanding, and for a rainy day, why not? But it's really becoming tired and boring, and to tell you the truth, sad. I know you need the money, Johnny, but really.
There's no need to bother, really. Karina! I have no time to chat because my map's just run away.
I will be waiting for you.
Why would you be waiting for me?
Why would you be waiting for me?
They're chic, unique, and quite adorable. What is it, you ask? The singers and dancers at the Goodspeed Opera House production of Thoroughly Modern Millie. This is an old-fashioned musical with big dance numbers, fun music, and great costumes. The story of young Millie, played by Taylor Quick, is told like a fairy tale about a girl who dreams of making it in the big city. But along the way, she meets many shady people and learns a big lesson about love. I love a musical that is campy. The show has lots of young super talents, like the chorus of this fun show. Hurry, it's only there till June 15th. And you can see my reviews, as well as read other movie reviews provided by the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops online at iobserve.org. That's iobserve.org. And you have one more chance to see the fantastic Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, The King and I, playing at the Bushnell Theater in Hartford, Connecticut. And also on June 11th, it's Tony time. Who will walk away with the Tony? Will it be Patti LuPone or Bette Midler? It's all up to those Tony voters for a fantastic year of theater that I was a part of. I'm Mark GIZA for Real Culture, wishing you a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you at the movies.
When the Polish immigrants first arrived here in Chicopee, they came for one main reason: jobs, which were plentiful in the mills of the city. Like many other ethnic groups, they eventually assimilated and built their own community with their own traditions and customs. That rich legacy was celebrated this past year here at St. Stan's. Recently, St. Stan's concluded its 125th anniversary celebration. Steve Kiltonick has this report.
Since 1908, it has stood like a fortress on Front Street in Chicopee. St. Stanislaus Bishop and Martyr Basilica is a testament to the Polish immigrants and the conventual Franciscans who built it. On May 7th, the parish completed its year-long celebration of its 125th anniversary with a massive Thanksgiving. Concelebrating the Mass was Springfield Bishop Mitchell Rosansky, Father James McCurry, Minister Provincial of Our Lady of Angels Province, and Father Joseph Benisevich, the pastor. Represented at the Mass was St. Stanislaus School, including the Franciscan Sisters of St. Joseph, as well as the Franciscans and the Franciscan Missionary Sisters of Assisi. After the Mass, a gala banquet held at the Castle of Knights officially concluded the anniversary year. Stephen Jędrzejczyk, the parish historian, wrote a book in 2005 chronicling the Polish history in Chicopee. Jędrzejczyk's family dates back to the parish's early years. This photo depicts his grandparents Louis and Catherine Jędrzejczyk, who arrived in 1901. Jędrzejczyk explained about the first Polish immigrants who arrived in the late 1880s.
The bulk of the people who came to St. Stanislaus were from Galicia, which is southern Poland, the Austrian part of Poland. They basically came of their own free will, and they paid their own way. They actually had a visa from the Polish government to come here. They had to be released by the government. But the difference was, as I always say, they had America fever.
The Poles came to Chicopee for jobs, which were plentiful in the city's huge textile mills.
Many of them were coming here to make a stake and go back and buy land in Poland.
The first Polish families to arrive were welcomed by Father Patrick Healy, pastor of Holy Name Church.
They slept in the old rectory where the Polish Center is now, and he got them jobs, and he got them a place to live. Extraordinary man.
The two largest employers, Dwight Mills in Chicopee Center and Chicopee Manufacturing, primarily processed raw cotton into fabric. Springfield Bishop Patrick O'Reilly appointed Father Francis Halupka as the first pastor to establish a new St. Stanislaus parish in 1891. The first church, a wood-frame structure, was built in 1895 and dedicated by Springfield Bishop Thomas Bevan. Three Felician sisters opened a parish school in 1897 using 2 classrooms in the basement of the church. 5 years later, the Franciscan Sisters of St. Joseph started to teach at the school. In 1901, the conventual Franciscan friars arrived from Webster to take over the ministry of St. Stanislaus Parish.
The friars were immigrants themselves, and they worked to keep this beautiful integration of faith, culture, hope, dreams here in the new land of America.
It was soon evident that the growing population of Poles needed a larger house of worship. In 1908, the second St. Stanislaus Church was built.
It only cost $125,000, which was a lot of money in those days. But at the time, this was the largest church in the whole United States of America for Polish Roman Catholics.
Father McCurry said the architects designed the brownstone Baroque Revival-style cathedral to resemble the old Franciscan churches in Poland. The glorification of St. Stanislaus, the bishop and martyr, is depicted in the ceiling. The majority of Stations of the Cross and stained glass windows were made by European artists and are original to the church.
The windows themselves depict some of the great moments from the scriptures, from the Bible, as well as some of the great Franciscan saints, as well as some of the great Polish saints.
At the center of the altar is the Black Madonna of Częstochowa. Outside the main entrance is a plaque dedicated on July 7, 1991, the day the church was elevated to basilica status by Pope John Paul II. Father McCurry explains why it remains an important milestone in the parish's history. Parishioners were surprised on the day of the Centennial Mass, which was presided over by Springfield Bishop Joseph McGuire, Pastor Marian Tolchik, and Archbishop Cardinal Macharski from Poland.
Only a few churches in the world have basilica status, and it has to be because of their history, because of their beauty, because of their ministry to a wider circle of people than even just the parish community.
Stella Obrick's parents came to Chicopee in the late 1890s. Now 98, She recalls attending church with her parents and 5 siblings.
At that time, there were many, many priests, so they would have celebrated masses with masses on the Falls side and on the Chicopee side. And those were always very spectacular. But we were very close to the church because my dad insisted on it, and we took part in every event that was going on. Every priest that had an anniversary or something, we celebrated. So far, I'm very, very honored and thrilled to be part of the church because that's my life, really. That's my life.
Joanne and Bill Zaski are lifelong parishioners of St. Stan's.
But everything that seemed to have happened in our life centered around the church. It was the social activities along with the religious services that we were always participating in.
After graduating from 8th grade at St. Stan's, Joanne became a member of Our Lady's Sodality. A highlight was the crowning of the Blessed Mother statue.
And we marched in procession into church and attended Mass. And at that time, all the women wore hats, very different from what it is now. And after Mass, we went to the parish school for the communion breakfast. And the hall was filled. It was just full to capacity with mothers and daughters. And it was wonderful.
Bill spoke of the many Polish traditions.
You always address the priest in Polish, "Niech będzie pochwalony Jezus Chrystus." And traditionally, and he would answer back, "Na wieki wieków amen." So,
what does that mean?
Forever and ever.
But praise be Jesus Christ.
And then forever and ever.
The anniversary year revolved around faith, family, and future. It began last April with an opening Mass and reception. In August, the parish picnic and Mass were held at Zop Park. Hot dogs and hamburgers were served, and there were many activities for the kids.
No charge to the event, just wanted people to come to celebrate with their families, bring the kids, bring the grandkids, pray for good weather, and hope that it all would go well up there that day, and it did.
This year marks the 120th graduating class from St. Stanislaus School. All the alumni, as well as teachers and those who just attended the school, were invited to a special reunion in the fall. An Advent concert was held in December with Marek Kulaki, a renowned organist and conductor from Austria. Celebrating our diversity was the theme of the multicultural fair held this past March. Father Benisevich said that while the Polish community here remains strong, many other groups and cultures are present in the parish, including Latino, Portuguese, Filipino, and Nigerian, which are all very much a part of the fabric of the parish today. All at St. Stan's owe a special debt of gratitude to the Polish immigrants who came to America, endured hardship, and founded the parish. And to the current and future generations of the parish, it's wished, 100 lat, nie żyje żyjana. May you live to be 100. For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
Congratulations to all here at St. Stan's on this very special anniversary. It's certainly one that I'm sure all the parishioners will look back on and remember fondly. The Bureau for Exceptional Children and Adults at Jericho has a long tradition of helping people with varying needs. And while they receive a generous grant from the annual Catholic Appeal, they also look to the public to help them continue their ministry. On Sunday, June 11th, the folks at Jericho will host a fundraiser concert featuring a very talented young singer, Sophie Lawry, along with members of the Dan Kane Singers. Reporter Julie Bollier has a preview.
Every night I sit here by my window, staring at the lonely avenue.
This pint-sized talent is preparing to sing her heart out for a good cause. And the Bureau for Exceptional Children and Adults at Jericho is one of them. Sophie Lawry, a 4th grader at St. Mary's School in Westfield, will take to the stage to raise awareness for the many programs provided by Jericho.
The reason we're doing the concert is because it's going to be a fundraiser for Jericho to raise money so that we can continue the services and programs that we provide for people with developmental disabilities as well as autism.
Jericho's programs include family advocacy with the state education system and healthcare system, as well as social, faith, and physical programs, such as swimming and equestrian therapy. The Lawry family got involved with Jericho when Sophie's grandma Bertie was suffering from advanced stage multiple sclerosis.
I got involved with Jericho in 2002. We used to come to Mass here in Holyoke with my mother-in-law, Bridget Boyle, who was in a wheelchair. She had MS. And so we would come to the Mass because it was very friendly and easy for her to get in and out.
Sophie Lawry started singing at age 4 when she attended a Dan Kane singing camp. She says singing and seeing other people smile makes her happy.
At the age of 5, I entered a St. Mary's talent show, and I won, and I found out that I really love singing and being on stage and seeing everybody smile in the audience.
Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. There's a climb.
I did one little gig at a nursing home like near Christmas time, and there are lots of people in wheelchairs and they can't like go home to see their children at Christmas, and so I'm bringing smiles to their faces.
The event will begin with an outdoor mass at 11 a.m.
For the past 3 years, we've been having an outdoor mass here at Jericho because we have an absolutely beautiful area to be able to be outside and to worship outside and to praise God for all the beauty that surrounds us here at Jericho. But this year it's going to be a little bit different. After Mass, we'll have light refreshments, and then we'll have Sophie Lawry with Dan Kane and friends put on a concert at 1 o'clock.
I'm gonna sing This Girl's on Fire, Hero, Colors of the Wind, Candyman, Things. It's gonna be really fun.
The concert is June 11th, rain or shine. In Holyoke, this is Julie Beaulieu for Reel to Reel.
Again, the concert is Sunday, June 11th at 1 p.m. at Jericho on Route 5 in Holyoke. Tickets are $15 each, or you can get a family 4-pack for $40. For information on how to purchase tickets, go to iobserve.org. And another reminder that coming up on Tuesday, June 13th, St. Anthony Church at 375 Island Pond Road in Springfield will mark the Feast of St. Anthony with a celebration beginning at 9 a.m. The day-long event includes exposition of the Blessed Sacrament, Mass, a procession, and a healing Mass with the relic of St. Anthony. All are welcome to attend. For more information, go to iobserve.org. And for this week, that's Reel to Reel. For updates anytime, you can find information and news on the Catholic Church, both here in the Diocese of Springfield and around the world, on our news and information site, iobserve.org. And also be sure to friend us on Facebook, where you will be able to travel with our reporters as they work on stories for Reel to Reel and get the latest news on the Catholic Church. Like us at Catholic Communications. Also, if you have not done so already, please consider making your donation to the annual Catholic Appeal. This one fund drive helps to support over 40 ministries and agencies right here in Western Massachusetts. So please consider making your gift today. And we at Catholic Communications especially appreciate your support because we receive considerable funding from the annual Catholic Appeal. I will be back at this same time next week for another edition of Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. See you then.
Reel to Reel is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.